Okay, so this episode has been decided by Inky Brushes 4598, who has suggested that I build a bar/restaurant with some kind of brewery attached to it. I love this idea and I accept the challenge. I've already had a little run around the settlement and I think I've settled on this location. Right, so I need a clean slate, so let's start by scrapping the items I don't need. So now let's move on to laying the foundation. I would have used the existing foundation, but I think the wood effect looks better. So there's a rough foundation laid out. Let's move on to a bit more of the foundation and then onto the structure. So inside this plane, I'm thinking of building the restaurant/seating area. Now let's move on to the main structure. I want to make it out of metal and have it look and feel like a barn conversion. I want to have a big barn doorway into the main bar/seating area. I want to have a big tall ceiling with a kind of spiral in the centre. Now, let's just add some more security from the outside world, and rain. Make sure there's no spots left open. Now, we need some serious steel supports if this place is going to last. Here is where I think I'll build the brewery, behind these glass walls. I want the people sitting at the bar to see the process of what they're drinking and where it came from. Now I want to focus on the actual bar. I want it to cover the whole centre, kind of like a big horseshoe. Now, let's work a bit more on the main entrance. People obviously need a way to get into the bar. Okay, so this is how the exterior of the bar looks. I'm actually pleased with how it's turned out, and it's come together quite nicely. Going into the inside, you can see the high ceilings. It feels less like a dive bar and somewhere you can actually settle down and have a few drinks. Let's fence off this area from the public, as I want to turn this into a mini farm where they can grow their own food and barley for the beer. Let's start by laying a solid foundation down, as I want to build a kind of greenhouse on top. Using the metal and glass walls will really help the crops grow with the extra sunlight coming in. I want to plant the razor grain out back as it's quite a big crop, and we will plant more of the restaurant style foods inside the greenhouse. We obviously need shade for when people come to the outside area with their food and drink. Now let's make sure no one can fall off the edge and sue us. Restaurant, main bar area and the greenhouse are all complete. Now let's focus a little bit more on the interior decoration. Let's start by fully stocking the main bar area with enough food and drink for all the settlers. Now we need some seating in the restaurant. Can't forget the wide variety of Scavenge chairs. Now let's get some seats for the lounge area of the bar. Table and chairs here. Bar stools and more bar stools. This place is actually starting to look quite good. I'm going to finish the rest of the decorating off camera now. See you guys in a bit. Okay guys, there you have it. The self-sufficient, self-running restaurant/bar. It was getting to the point in the series where I did need to start adding some food and water supply. But let's get into the tour. So first thing you can notice is there are settlers. You know, people have started wandering in. They've been looking for sanctuary and they found it. So first thing you come into is the little foyer. This is where we've got some of the storage and some settlers walking around. Now I tried to make it as big and open as possible, and I think it turned out quite well. So you have in each corner There's a little seating area, same as the one over here.
Yeah.
Now this side is the quick food. You know, if you want some fruit or anything cooked up really quick, this is where you'd go. There isn't usually a bartender there, but nowhere to be seen. This is the bar/restaurant area where, get out of the way, where you'd come up to this lovely lady and order your drinks and food. Moving around into the restaurant area, I'll show you this first. We've got 2 doors here, one leading to the outdoors, and this is the first toilet I've put in the settlement. I know, very nice, but I didn't really know what to do with this space. So as you come on in or out to the outside, you've got a nice little seating/smoking area. And then this is the restaurant. It's a shame because these guys were sitting down just before I started, but they've all decided to stand up.
Yes.
So yeah, still protected, even though we are in the wall of, you know, the settlement. It's still pretty well protected. You see all the tables are laid with food, cutlery and drinks. As we go back round, I'll show you a bit more detail in the bar.
Yes.
Yes.
So obviously very well stocked, and because of the comment, you know, I tried to follow it to a T. We've actually built our own brewery. Now, in my mind, I wanted to have like a silo, some pipe work, you know, tables and stuff like that. Couldn't find a mod or anything to help me like that. So what I've tried to do is I've glitched a water purifier into here. So it kind of looks like some beer making contraption, but who knows? I'll let you guys be the judge of that. Now, as this is a brewery, lots and lots of stock, barrels and barrels of beer, and the glitched in beer pump, let's call it that. But in order to make that, we need to go to the outside area here, which is a built-in greenhouse with everything that you would need to, first of all, supply the food and build the beer. So like hops and stuff like that. And I think the closest thing we can get to that in this game is Razor Grain, which is stationed out here. Okay guys, hope you've enjoyed this build video. I've really enjoyed making these each week, and the support I'm getting for them just makes me want to continue. So thank you to everyone who's been showing their support through just as simple as subscribing, liking and leaving their comments down below. It really does mean the world. Yeah, anyways guys, thank you so much for the love and support you've been showing me, and I'll see you guys in the next one.